Hey everybody of YouTube, and welcome back to this episode, which we're going to talk about how to purchase a vehicle. So I'm going to go over some basic steps on how you guys can put yourself in the driver's seat of a new car. Stay tuned. Okay, so you're in the position right now, you're thinking about buying a new car, you're not really sure how to do this, right? Do you go to the dealership and let them pull your credit? Do you pay cash? How do you buy this thing? So these are some basic questions I want to answer for people. Now, this is not a video, I'm not going to tell you to buy a warranty or, that's up to you guys to choose what what car is good for you. This is simply how to go about financing a vehicle. So this video assumes you're purchasing a vehicle from a dealership. There are other options to purchase a vehicle, such as a private party purchase. But we're specifically talking about those who are either looking to get into a relatively newer car and they're going to need some lending. So one of the things I'd recommend when purchasing a vehicle is, number one, budget, right? You have to know how much you're going to be able to afford monthly on the car bill. So once you find a car that fits within your budget, you could use Google to put together a car payment. Just type in car payment calculator on Google and put in the interest rate and the amount that you're looking to borrow. Now, once you narrow all that down, you decide how much you would be able to afford monthly and what's comfortable for you, then the process starts. What most people do is they end up going to a dealership. The dealership will pull credit. Now, in a lot of times, what happens here, when you go to the dealership, you're putting your car buying experience in the dealership's hands, because you're basically telling them, hey, you can pull my credit and determine everything from here. Now they know how much you can purchase the car for, what your credit looks like, etc. Right, so number one, you want to know exactly what your credit scores are. In previous videos, we talked about that. I personally typically use a local credit union, or you could even use your local bank, right? So if you have credit cards, checking accounts, let's say that you use Bank of America, they typically have a system where you can get pre-approved. So a lot of times what happens when you go to a dealer is they're going to run you through multiple banks and they're going to pull your credit multiple times. This is bad for your credit because you're going to get dinged multiple times. If that deal doesn't work out on this car for you, you're on to the next dealer. So guess what's going to happen? This dealer is going to do the same thing. They're going to pull your credit and they're going to run it through the system, and you're going to get 6 more credit pulls in your credit. So I actually had a situation in Michigan growing up. I was looking to buy a Chevy Cobalt. I believe it was an SS or something like that. But I went to the dealer and they pulled credit. Everything looked good, even though they pulled me like 6 times. Well, she decided that, hey, let's see if we could find this guy a better deal. And she pulled my credit again. Well, I had actually taken the car to test drive it, and we were going to do the final paperwork the next day. When they pulled my credit again, it had dropped so much so that I was unable to afford that vehicle. And I actually ended up giving it back because credit was below the threshold. So you don't want to do that. You really don't want to put yourself in that situation, especially when it comes to transportation. So one of the things I never tell a dealer is that I have financing. The reason I do this is because it puts me in this driver's seat of purchasing this vehicle. And what I mean by that is I can negotiate, I can bargain. I have buying power. I'm not reliant upon them. And if you notice, the dealer will typically ask you, well, do you need financing? And you say, I don't need financing. I'm looking for this specific vehicle, and this is as much as I want to pay. So the conversation at the dealership should really be limited to the vehicle, because they're not a financial institution, right? They are there to sell you a vehicle. They are not there to help you financially with purchasing a vehicle. So you should have that homework done. Having that letter really puts you in a better position to negotiate and bargain a price for your next new vehicle. It also reduces the credit pulls on your credit, which ultimately leaves you in a better situation. So those are some tips and tricks to help you make sure that you're purchasing a vehicle and you're going to have a payment that fits within your budget. I hope this helps, guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I'm more than glad to answer those. And also, I do have some upcoming videos I'm working on in regards to home purchases. Let me know if there are any other topics you guys want to discuss or questions you may have, and I'll be more than glad to answer them. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your evening.